The Simpson family drove their Lamborghini all the way to Italy. On the road, Homer was so busy watching a movie that he didn't notice the cheese truck ahead had flipped over. Countless blocks of cheese came crashing toward them. Luckily, Homer was a pretty good driver, but the scattered cheese completely covered the windshield. In the end, their new car still got crushed by a huge, massive block of cheese. The whole family had to push the car to keep going. They made it to a small Tuscan village and tried to find an auto repair shop, but the language barrier made it impossible. An old lady pointed them toward the town hall. Turns out only the mayor spoke English. Homer handed her a mug to say thank you. The family had no choice but to go find the mayor, and to their shock, the mayor was none other than Sideshow Bob. Desperate to hide his past, Bob had no choice but to tell them his story. After his last failed attempt to assassinate Bart, he decided to leave Springfield. He'd let fate decide where he went next, so he took a train to Tuscany. At first, he'd also been shut out because of the language barrier, but when harvest season came, the villagers all stomped grapes with their feet to make wine. Bob's big feet made him a hit, and soon he even had his own wine brand. Eventually, he'd even been elected mayor. Bob introduced them to his family, and when Marge mentioned Bart, Bob's wife remembered. That was the name her husband yelled in his nightmares. Even Bob's son, Gino, hated Bart. Homer brought his new co-worker Wayne to the tavern, but they were robbed. When Moe tried to grab money from the drawer, he secretly tried to load a bullet into his gun, only for the robber to catch him in the act. Moe had no choice but to hand over the gun. Thankfully, Wayne stepped in just in time, taking down the robber with a few quick moves, but the robber got back up again, grabbing the gun to sneak attack Wayne. Luckily, Wayne saw the whole thing reflected in the smooth surface of an egg, and he tossed the egg right down the robber's throat. To thank Wayne for saving their lives, Homer invited him over to his house for dinner. The next day, Wayne's heroic deeds spread all over town, and he even did an interview with reporters. Mr. Burns specially gave Wayne a solid silver hard hat as an award, but the hat triggered Wayne's painful memories. Wayne slammed the hat down hard on Mr. Burns' head and grabbed him by the throat with both hands. Just as Mr. Burns was about to suffocate, Homer arrived just in time and stopped a tragedy from happening. Wayne got fired because of this, so Homer invited him to live in the treehouse at his place. To repay Homer, Wayne started teaching Bart and Lisa martial arts. When Bart was bullied by the school toughs again, he could fight back easily, scaring them into running away in a panic. But at night, after Wayne had a nightmare, he started talking in his sleep non-stop, waking up all the neighbors nearby. At the same time, Wayne's old enemies saw the news video about him. Soon after, they came to Springfield to get revenge on Wayne. They asked Homer if he knew Wayne, but Homer said, "I don't have any friends," so the enemies had no choice but to leave. Marge wrote a letter, hoping Martha could save her Christmas, but the letter was blown out the window by the wind, blocking the mail carrier's view, which caused an accident. All the letters were burned to ashes, except for Marge's. This letter miraculously drifted all the way to its recipient. After reading the letter, Martha immediately knitted herself a rocket, took off, and flew to the Simpson house. Martha used a fence as a ladder to climb up to Marge's bedside. She grabbed Marge and pulled her up, then started tidying the bed right away. Martha broke off tree branches, secured them with string, and used pine cones as decorations. She even found Marge's wedding dress in the closet, and cut it into ruffled trim. This left Marge completely amazed. Next, Martha traced the shape of Maggie's head to create a unique window design. Just then, Bart and Milhouse came back from playing outside, covered in mud, so Martha decided to dress them up as soldiers. She didn't care about their opinions at all, and wrapped red tape all over their bodies. Annoyed by how much they talked, she even taped their mouths shut. She taped shovels to their arms, leaving them completely unable to move. Finally, Martha took 2 ping-pong paddles, turned them into buttons, and stuck them to their backs, looking at Homer lying on the couch. That was a real challenge. She covered him with a white sheet, added some decorations, and the problem was perfectly solved. But just as Homer was about to wake up, Martha picked up a bottle of magic potion, held it to Homer's nose and mouth, and put him into a deep sleep. But Marge felt lonely without her family around, so Martha had to wave her magic wand and turn everything back to normal.